Hello and welcome to Dice Jesters. My name is Julie.
And my name is Dave.
And today we'll be discussing the board game First Rat, since we are in between our 10x10s working on the next game. This season just seems...
It's taking a bit.
It is taking a bit. And honestly, with how the games are so far this season, I don't think I would enjoy staying up until 2 a.m. playing it back to back. I do like the refresh of letting my mind rest for a moment and then thinking about it and then coming back to it.
I think for me, I want to do really well in these games, and I historically have not done well when we stay up till 2 a.m. playing. I just wake up the next morning thinking I lost.
Yeah.
Another 10x10 game.
Yeah. Like when we played 5 Tribes, right?
Yeah.
And we just kept going because it was pretty easy setup. And we played that game until the early morn, and you lost.
The one that surprises me, though, is the fact that we played Le Havre so many times in a row. I look back thinking, okay, I came out of that game really enjoying it, but we played them 7 rounds in a day.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And I still could go for some more Le Havre.
Yeah. But you're like, Dave, do you want more time in between so that you have time to research strategies online to try to beat me? And I'm like, no, I don't do that. Is it frowned upon? I don't know.
Do you do that? I wasn't
haven't...
thinking you did. Now I feel like you are.
I've been tempted a couple times.
Oh, you've been tempted.
How funny it would be if I just researched these grand strategies and then I came back and you're like, where did you learn to do that? Where did you thought your game style completely changed?
I'd just be like, oh, you somehow thought on the box from last game to this game? Interesting.
You're not getting distracted by all the use corporate jargon, the low-hanging fruit.
It's just like, who did you hire?
Yeah.
Are you Dave? Who's playing for you?
We should have this service where, in, I don't know, if people are playing poker or something, or blackjack, and they had an earpiece in their ear and somebody was, telling them, you should, do that for people who are playing games. They have this little earbud, and you're like, move this piece over here. You're like, what?
Just, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
And then I start screaming, and you're like, ah! Then you have to take it out of your ear. Oh, yes. Well, I like having First Rat as a little palate cleanser,
Yeah.
And board games seem to use
food
lingo.
Since we're on the topic of animals, I just wanted a little bit of an update on Mr. Goose. And then I've also heard that you've been making some raven friends.
Crow friends.
Some crow friends.
Ravens don't live this close to the city.
I didn't know there was a difference, but...
There is a difference. Crows go, caw, caw.
And ravens go, caw.
No, ravens sound more of a ha, ha.
Those sound the same to me.
No, slightly different.
So your affinity for avian species.
So I haven't
grows.
seen Mr. Goose in a long time. I've been looking for him, but maybe I have to look for him around lunchtime, because maybe that's when he was being fed. I don't know if he was being fed or not. But I haven't seen Mr. Goose in a while. Kind of miss him.
That's so heartwarming. The way you were talking to the goose, too, was so adorable.
Goose?
Yeah.
No, I was talking to the duckies nice.
Oh.
Yeah, because when there were duckies, there was a ducky family.
Okay, another bird species.
I was like, hi, ducks. What's up? I didn't say what's up. I was like, come here, duckies. I was like, come be with me, duckies. And they were like, and they waddled away.
I can see you showing up to work now and you have all these birds flocking around you as you get out of your car.
Oh, I would love that. I don't feed them, though, so, I don't see that happening. But for the crows, so I've been giving them offerings.
Yeah, what is this whole thing I've learned about?
Yes, I have tinsel out by the door that leads outside from my office. And then I open my window so I can see the birdies. And tinsel is supposed to attract them because crows like to have the best looking nest. So the shinier nest, technically the better the nest it is. And that's why they collect the shiny things. So I have that. I have some coins out there. So hopefully nobody just takes the coins, allows the birdies to get the coins. And then I was feeding them some nuts. And one swooped down and it was cawing, and I was just like, can I be your mommy? Do you want to be with Lupin? Do you like cats? Just like Lupin would like you. And it didn't come down, but it came close. I feel like that one's going to be my friend. I've thought about naming it Philip.
Philip?
Yes.
After who?
I don't know. It just seems right.
It seems right.
It just seemed right. I saw it. It was cawing at me, and Philip came to mind.
That's so funny. You're gonna start bringing crows home.
I want to. Do you know they like talk to each other? So if you're mean to one, they tell each other that you were mean to it, and then they all avoid
they spill
you.
the tea.
Yeah, they all like communicate. It's so sad.
Well, I can't wait to hear that story unfold. The crow mommy.
The crow mommy. Yes, but when we were at the beach the other day, I was having some PTSD from when the seagulls attacked me when I went to Florida as a child, you know, because my sister had the sunflower seeds, and then I saw the seagulls there, and I was holding that crepe, and they were swooping down. I was like, oh no, here we go again.
Yeah. That's right. There was a massive flock of seagulls above us. It was so big that I saw a shadow pass over us. Like, I thought it was a dragon, and then I looked up, and there were, like, hundreds of seagulls.
They were way too close to me for comfort. And they were very big seagulls, well fed. Much bigger than the ones that attacked me as a child.
Well, the bird saga continues.
Oh, okay.
I'm in for this journey.
I'm not. So, the journey that I'm into is first rat, because that's more your speed, since you like gerbily creatures.
Gerbily creatures?
I don't know.
Very like
squirrely
creatures. Yes. I do like rodents. I have this affinity for rodents for some reason.
You wanted guinea pigs, but we have nowhere to put guinea pigs.
I love squirrels, guinea pigs, hamsters.
Hamsters, we have space for hamsters. Yes, all of the like rodent and bird talk has summoned the Lupin.
Yeah, he's here.
He's here. He wants to see it. Well, he does like the game First Rat, though. Like those little pieces.
He does.
Squares. He's a very cube component cat. He enjoys to knock over the cubes the most.
I know. I'll set up a game. If it has cubes on it, I'll walk away. I'll come back. The cubes are guaranteed to not be in the same place.
Yeah.
And he's nowhere to be found. I don't know where he is, but at some point in time, he got on the table and did his thing.
I think he's really smart. He knows when he did something wrong, and so he'll flee the scene. Or sometimes he'll go to bite something, and I'll go, Lupin, and he'll look at me, and he'll, like, clean himself. And I'm just like, I knew you weren't doing that.
I love when we come home, you know if he's done something wrong. Like, what have you done? And you're always right. There's always, like, a hairball somewhere or something.
Yeah, because he makes a face. Like, he has a certain face to him. He makes oh no, you're home. I didn't get to clean or hide what I did type face. And you're like, he's a cat. He made cat face. I'm like, no, there's a special face that he makes.
Well, let me just say, with First Rat, I am all about this theme.
I know you are.
Just
it's
like
space.
It's space. It's building a rocket ship, and just rats going through this junkyard and collecting stuff.
Yeah.
Building this ship. And there's just something thematic about it where I really get into it and enjoy it.
It's really funny because I thought that you would be the winner of this game. But then I realized that no, it makes sense that I would win because I have a hoarding issue.
That's so... You're like a pack rat.
Yeah, I'm like a pack rat. I think pack rat's better because I'm not like a hoarder. I just like have a cubby and a table and a bookshelf that I just kind of pack.
That is
like,
true.
Does it fit? I'll make it fit.
Make it fit. Do you want to try to explain this game? What it's about?
It's about rats that want to go to the cheese moon. And you, as a 2-player setup, you have 2 rats to begin with. And you can move either both of them and or one of them. If you decide to move one of them, you can move it 5 spaces. If you want to move both of them, you can move it 1 to 3 spaces, but they have to end up on the same color if you move more than one. If you end up on the same color, you do get to use both of those bonuses. So let's say you end up on a cheese tile and a cheese tile, you get 2 cheese. As opposed to if you just move 1 rat, you can go further and maybe get to a tile before your opponent. But if you do, you only get to claim that tile once. And now that leads into, what if your opponent wants that tile? Well, that opponent's going to have to give you some cheese to
cheese
share
offering.
The tile. And there's a light that you're kind of building along the way that gives you bonus material if you happen to have it move past wherever your rat is. There's also some other rats that are ready to be deployed in the den, and you can go and scurry about the den if you grab some apple cores. So the apple cores lets you take your little rat that is summoning the other rats.
Yeah.
And then you get to move that rat into the beginning of the tiles. And now you have 3 rats. You can have up to 4 in a 2-player game. I don't know if you get more in
It's
more
the
players.
same, yeah.
No, it's the same. So 4-player game, 2-player game. Either way, the same. You get 4 rats. And you want your rats to blast off to space prior to the opponents. And then, on the way there, you want to build the ship better than other rats. So, how are you going to do that? By providing the sources that you have hoarded along the track.
That's pretty good. You were just there's like a cheese offering option at the end of your turn. You can offer cheese and
To the moon.
to the moon.
To the cheese moon.
Yeah. So what did you think of this game? We played it a couple times.
Yeah, the first time we played it, I kind of was thinking, that was easy. And then the second time we played it, I had kind of a different thought. It is an easy game to play. It's very straightforward, but it has a strategic aspect to it because you can get more resources if you could optimize your rats to be placed on the same color as much as possible for your turn. So there's some math involved in it. There's just kind of figuring out what you want to use your resources for, because if you could optimize your resources in the best way possible, you can get more points. So you can choose to use 10 cheeses to give to the moon and place a cube on, I think the first one's a 7 or a 9 pointer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can keep the cheese, and when you run into one of the animals along the way, you can give them the cheese and get a special prize that you get to decide. And some will be points, some will be special abilities, and some will just be a one-time thing, but a good one-time thing because it gives you multiple of whatever supply you may be looking for.
I think, when you look at heavy Euro games and what I enjoy about them is like having a lot of different things that you can do. I love games that let you score points in a variety of ways. And this one feels like, rules-wise, maybe on the light, medium end of the spectrum in terms of games. I know that spectrum gets skewed the more heavy games you play. You think of a game as light, and some people might play and think it's heavy, but I would definitely say like lighter than medium, for me at least. But like you could play this with family probably. You could teach people who don't play a lot of games, but it kind of gives you that bump of, you enjoy Euro games and you want something lighter, like maybe like we've been playing some heavier games recently in the 10 by 10 challenge, and playing this as a quote unquote palate cleanser in between games. It's like refreshing. It's like we could sit down, we played it, knocked down like 30 minutes, and I had a really, really, really good time. And there's so many things that I love about this game, but it gave me that same feeling of having a lot to do, but also having a little bit of player interaction, of watching what you're doing, because there's all these different places and all these different score tracks where you can place a cube to score points, but the sooner you get your cube on there, the more points you're going to go. So you want to like go for different things than your opponent is so that you get that higher tier. So I'm kind of watching what you're going for. I'm watching what spaces you end up on because I don't want to pay you cheese, and trying to map it out in a way. And then you're gaining these ongoing benefits if you can move your little rat around the den and you can get those magazines, or you get the backpacks from I think the Crow or something like that.
Yeah.
And those give you cool bonuses. Like I got one where I had to pay
like
what's that?
Bottle caps.
Oh yeah, bottle cap. Yeah, the bottle caps is the
yeah.
end game scoring. I didn't get any of those, but I got some cool ongoing abilities. Like one made it so it costed one less resource to build a piece of the rocket ship, and this can be challenging to get everything that you need because you need like 2 calculators and then 3 of something else. Or the tin cans were hard to get.
The beans.
Yeah, and so it has just enough planning in it where it'll scratch that part of your brain. Like, okay, I need these resources. I need to figure out how I'm going to get them, where I'm going to land on them. I can get an ability that makes it easier. And then the game is just long enough where you have a chance to kind of build up a little bit and like feel like you're doing a lot, you're scoring points. And then it ends at just the right point in time, like either through sending your 4th rat to space or by placing your 8th cube, which happens really fast. Like you got that going pretty quick. So
Started just placing cubes.
Yeah.
So, Dave, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If it wasn't rat themed, would you still like it the same? Usually it's like, oh, Julie, the art. But no, this time it's on you.
All right, if I were to distill this down to the pure mechanisms of the game, I still think that I would really enjoy it. There are two things that I really love that are found in other games. I mean, worker placement I really like, but there's a mechanism that I don't think you and I have played in a game yet, but where you can move, they call it a rationing mechanism. So you can move as far up a track as you want. I know you're limited in this one, but the premise is typically you can move as far up a track you want to get a bonus, but then you can never move back.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you take little steps and get a bunch more things, or do you race further ahead and get that really cool prize, but now you have fewer turns because your rat is going to get sent to space, and now you don't have that rat anymore.
I saw you were racing ahead. That's why you were having troubles getting calculators.
So, yeah. So, thank you for analyzing my gameplay there, Julie.
Of course.
But, so I love that. I also love diminishing returns on different score tracks. So, I want to get on this one early. Okay, now I did that. I'm going to do something else. And I love anytime something allows me to get ongoing abilities. Like something that makes me better at something than somebody else. I love that this game has that like shopping aspect that I love in games like Orleans. You know, like when you get to buy cool things and get better at it. So I would say that I would still enjoy the game, but the theme definitely elevated it to the next level where I would say this is like, I mean, one of my favorite games I've played in a little while. Like, I would put it up there with some of my favorites that you and I have played together, period. Like, this is fun.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. This one, if you want to be like, hey, you just want to take it out, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Let's
send some rats to the moon.
Let's send some rats to the moon.
But that's part of the fun with the theme, though, is, like, making those jokes as we're going through. And, like, I love any game that ultimately allows you and I to interact in really funny ways, because that's the goal of the game, is to sit down and have a good time. And we have played, I mean, games here and there that weren't the most exciting, but, you know, you and I still had fun playing. But then we've played games that were objectively good, but maybe we had less fun because they weren't as interactive. But this was like both.
Yes.
It was like a fun game to begin with, great interaction, great theme, where we're kind of building a story as you and I are sitting and playing it together.
Yeah, because I remember I would just be like, oh, looks like your rats aren't prepared to go to the moon. Oh, they're going to go to the moon, but they'll be hungry. They're going to die. No, I'm not kidding. But yeah. So yes, thank you for showing me this game. I love it. I was going to say I love all the games you've showed me, and then I was
there have been a
it,
few.
and I was like, no, there was a few.
There was a few that you didn't love.
That I didn't love as much, but...
Yeah,
yes.
But I still love the experience of playing with you.
Yes, I love that you're finding games that speak to you.
Yeah, well, we should dive back into this 10 by 10 challenge that we're working on, because this is taking a minute.
This is. But, all right, Space Cadets, that's our take on aiming for the lunar cheese. Be sure to stay updated with us on Instagram through Dice Jesters. You can also email us at thedicejesters@gmail.com if you have any questions about board games or anything of that nature. And then we're also on Patreon, where you can find some behind the scenes items as well as secretly released podcast, more so as a conversation that we kind of have amongst one another. And be sure to keep your telescopes pointed skyward, and remember, even if you miss the moon, you'll land among the stars. Catch you in our next podcast.